The whole town of Livingston turned out for the funeral of Judge Harold Stevenson, black suits, black hats in hands, boots polished for once. They filed past the casket in the little Presbyterian church and every tongue was busy whispering the same thing. How in the name of heaven did Clara Stevenson end up riding to her husband's grave on the seat of Elias Garrett's old hay wagon, sitting beside that young widow Martha Rose Garrett, both women wearing plain calico dresses and no veils at all? Clara was 68 years old, silver-haired, still handsome in the way winter sunrise is handsome, sharp and clean. Martha was 31, sun-browned, steady-eyed, the girl the town had once called, that stray the old man picked up. Between them on the wagon seat lay a single blue enamel coffee cup. Forbidden, the ladies hissed behind their gloved hands. Absolutely forbidden. The preacher said the words over Harold's casket, words about justice and civic duty and a life well lived. When he finished, the part about, "Until death do us part," Clara stood up in the front pew, walked straight out the side door, climbed onto the wagon beside Martha, and never looked back. That was the moment the town felt the ground tilt. After the burial on the hill beside the courthouse, folks gathered in the church basement for ham sandwiches and weak coffee. Clara and Martha never came inside. They drove the wagon out to the ranch instead, the dog trotting alongside, the blue cup rattling gentle on the seat. That night the Ladies' Aid Society met in emergency session. "It is forbidden, Mrs. Caldwell declared, thumping her cane on the floor. "A judge's widow does not go live with that woman, on that ranch, under that tree with those people already buried there. It isn't decent." Mrs. Hanson, who had known Elias and Lily and now knew Martha better than any of them, smiled slow. "Decent according to who?" she asked. "According to the Lord, or according to the mirror you ladies powder your noses in?" Silence fell like a slammed gate. Out at the ranch the porch light burned soft. Clara hung her black dress on the back porch to air, put on one of Martha's old denim shirts that still carried the faint scent of hay and wood smoke, and sat in the swing. Martha brought 2 cups of coffee, one in the blue enamel, one in Sarah's flowered china. Clara took the blue one without asking. It fit her hand the way it had fit Lily's and Elias's and now Martha's, like it had been waiting. "I told Harold the night before he died," Clara said quiet, "that when his time came I would not stay in that big house alone. I would go where I was wanted." He cried. "First time in 40 years. Said he understood." Martha nodded, rocking the swing gentle. "Elias used to say understanding is the only thing stronger than the law. Law can make you do. Understanding makes you want to." Clara looked toward the cottonwood, 4 names now carved gentle into one wide stone. Soon 5. "I loved Harold," she said. "But I was never in love with him. I was in love with the idea of being proper. Turns out proper is cold at night." Martha reached over and covered Clara's hand with her own. "Out here we only got one rule left," she said. "Leave the gate open and the coffee hot. Everything else sorts itself." Winter settled deep. The 2 women worked the ranch side by side, Clara learning to fork hay at 70 like she was born to it, Martha teaching her the way Elias had once taught her. They fed cattle before dawn, mended fence in the afternoons, baked bread that rose high and light. Every morning Clara filled the blue cup first and carried it to the porch rail. Every noon they ate thick sandwiches on the tailgate. Every night they sat in the swing under the same quilt and spoke whatever truth needed speaking. Come spring the preacher came out, hat literally in hand. "Mrs. Stevenson, Clara, the town is concerned. People are talking." Clara didn't even stand up from shelling peas on the porch step. "Let them talk," she said. "Talk don't break bones and it don't stop meadowlarks." The preacher tried again. "But living here, together, it looks." Martha came around the corner carrying a bucket of milk still warm from the cow. "Looks like love," she finished for him, calm as Sunday. "Funny how folks only call it scandal when it's love they don't understand." The preacher left red-faced and never came back. Summer brought the county fair. Clara entered her chokecherry jelly and took blue ribbon. Martha entered her peach pie and took blue ribbon. They walked the midway together eating cotton candy like schoolgirls, arms linked laughing loud enough to scare the crows. That night the Ladies' Aid held another meeting. Nobody could quite remember what they were supposed to be outraged about anymore. Years kept turning soft and certain. Clara's hair went white as creek ice. Martha's hands grew the same beautiful scars Elias once carried. They added a fifth name to the stone when Clara slipped away one April morning sitting in the swing with the blue cup cooling in her lap, Martha's hand in hers. The town came to that funeral too, bigger crowd than the judge ever drew. They brought casseroles and flowers and stood quiet under the cottonwood shade while Martha read from the little leather Bible Elias used to keep in his saddlebag. She closed the book and looked out over the faces, some ashamed now, some softened, all listening. "What we did out here," Martha said, voice carrying easy on the warm wind, "was forbidden, you called it. Was save each other 3 times a day. Morning coffee on the rail. Noon sandwich on the tailgate. Night swing under the same quilt. We broke no law of God. Only the little laws people make up when they're scared of being loved too much. So talk if you need to. But the gate stays open. The coffee stays hot. And the saving goes on. Morning, noon and night. Until every last one of us gets home." Nobody spoke against it after that. Years later, old men on the courthouse steps still tell the story, voices low with something like reverence. How the judge's proud widow and the rancher's young stray shook the whole town to its foundations. Not with guns or whiskey or scandal, but with 2 coffee cups, 1 swing, and the quiet terrifying courage to love anyway, when every tongue said, "That is forbidden." Turns out, the forbidden thing was just the doorway to everything true.